Welcome back to the Arash Markazi Show, presented by the Sporting Tribune on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio in Southern California, 98.5 The Bet in Las Vegas, and the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760 in Hawaii. And we mentioned this before, but it really, we must mention it continuously. Our thoughts and our prayers are out to our friends in Hawaii. You can hear us in Maui, and I've been there several times. I know a lot of you guys have as well. And Adrian, there's a fund out there. I know that there's several, but there's one in particular that we've honed in on. If you have the website, if you could give that a shout out,
I
I'd hate to
don't.
put you on the spot, but
Right.
yeah, we will take a look at what that website is. We will also tweet it out, but wanted to mention, as they recover in Maui, that we are really thinking about our friends out there. So wanted to begin there. And before we're done with the segment, we will get you the link on how you can go support them. With that said, let's go out to the Circus Sports Guest Hotline and joining us now from the Sporting Tribune, Steve Carp. Carpy, how are you?
Tired.
I feel you. I feel you. Long weekend. You were at Raiders practice. You were also at the Raiders preseason game yesterday, Sunday. Raiders 49ers. By the way, packed house. If we can start with a non-football question, a lot was made about the number of opposing fans there. A lot of red. Listen, Las Vegas is a transient town. It's a tourist town. We knew that. We knew that this would be the one game fans would circle on their calendar when they wanted to come to a game. Is there some concern on your part as you look at this team, and it'd be nice to have a home field advantage? Your thoughts on that?
Look, Arash, it's going to take some time for the Raiders and Las Vegas to connect as a whole. Okay? I mean, people like myself are not dropping their allegiances from their NFL teams their whole lives to become Raiders fans. It's just not the way it works. Okay? So it's going to, you're going to maybe need a generation. I know that's a long time, like 20 years, but all these kids growing up in Vegas, at some point they will be Raiders fans. That's just the way it works, okay? And Mark Davis can bitch and moan all he wants about it, just like Bill Foley complains that the Golden Knights sometimes have visiting fans in their arenas. Hey, that's life, okay? And yeah, it was mostly 49er fans. There was a lot of red in Allegiant Stadium today. You're absolutely right. But the Raiders, the players, they don't care. They're just playing. I mean, guys are playing for jobs here. Not worried about fans showing up or not showing up.
Yeah, it's a good point.
That's the
But
reality
by the
of
way,
this.
no doubt about that. And to your point, because we deal with this in Los Angeles, I'll tell you what. As the Raiders come to Los Angeles this upcoming
Saturday.
weekend to play the
Saturday.
Rams, it'll be a lot of Saturday. It'll be a lot of silver and black, because I still say if they're not the most popular, we're right up there in the conversation to be. It's the Raiders. So listen, we're dealing with that in Los Angeles. They're dealing with that in Las Vegas as well. Beyond the preseason game, Carpy, before I turn it to the other guys, your thoughts. You were out at training camp. Your thoughts on this team now that you see them up close. Again, the big story going into the camp and certainly into this first preseason game was Jimmy Garoppolo. How did the team look?
I thought they looked pretty good overall, the Devontae Adams injury notwithstanding. And apparently it's not that serious because he showed up. He didn't play, obviously, today, but he did show up. He didn't seem to be limping. They'll probably hold him out the entire preseason just to be safe about it. Now, I think Garoppolo might get a few reps against the Rams next Saturday. But I'll tell you what, Aiden O'Connell looked really good today. He was moving this team up and down the field. He was making really good, smart decisions, accurate throws. He looked like he belonged in the NFL, as did Zamir White, as did a lot of guys. I mean, the Raiders put on a very impressive performance. Now, let's be honest, the 49ers were missing a few starters themselves, okay? So, no Christian McCaffrey, no, um, what's his name, no Kittle. They didn't play Brock Purdy, no Debo Samuel. So, you get the picture. Both teams were missing guys, and the Raiders, I think what they came out of today with was they may have a little more talent and a lot more depth than they thought they had going into training camp.
Yeah, and Steve, some I'll add too is like I think the Niners also learned their third stringers. They need some work. I mean, they got completely pummeled on Sunday. They just weren't good.
Yeah,
I don't know if any. I think just McLeod played, but a few starters, but not many. And Trey Lance, talk to me about what you saw from him because Twitter's saying he was terrible. I saw a couple of mixed things. I used to be high on him, though. The more I watch Sam Darnold and Brock Purdy, it's like, man, Lance's upside, but he wasn't reading defenses well today on Sunday, and he wasn't reading it was taking too long through his progressions. Talk to me about what you saw when you were there.
I saw a lot of what you saw. I saw a guy who was indecisive at times, and when he did make plays, either there was a penalty or the Raiders quickly responded. So, when you look at it, he's in a tough situation because the 49ers drafted really high, obviously, and they obviously believed he was their guy going forward. But now you got Brock Purdy, and Sam Darnold, I thought didn't play all that bad in the second half for the 49ers. So if I'm Trey Lance, I'm gonna have to do something really special if I want to keep my job with this team, because I don't know, another iffy performance like the one today on Sunday, he might find himself looking for work. I know that sounds insane, but I mean, this is a win now business. They don't have time to wait on this guy to get better. Either he's going to get better quickly and be a factor, or he's not, and they're going to move on
Especially since
from
they
him.
have Yeah, especially since they have a Super Bowl roster, right? They've been at the cusp. They can't wait for a guy to get, if they were a rebuilding team, it'd be a different story, right? Like Anthony Richardson, the Colts, they're just going to throw Anthony Richardson out there, see
Yeah,
what happens, right? But
yeah,
you're
probably.
absolutely right. Absolutely right.
You know,
Adrian,
I,
do you have something?
No.
again, hold on, Adrian. All I want to say in response is, don't decide that they're not good based on what you saw today, or they're that bad based on what you saw. Don't think the Raiders are that good based on what you saw. This is what I'm writing about in my Sporting Tribune column. Don't get suckered into thinking that what you saw today is the gospel truth. All right? It's one freaking preseason game in August. All right? September 10th is still a long way away. A lot of things can happen. And it's a long season, fellas. You all know that. So while the Raiders did a lot of really good things today, I'm not ready to put them in the Super Bowl at home. And I'm not ready to give the 49ers Caleb Williams as the first pick in the draft next spring.
Now, I think one of the things that the show doesn't remember is we have a large female audience that tunes in, and even men that are interested in this next question. Steve, I'm always here to remind you: you are a three-time Sports Writer of the Year. You are a Hall of Famer. You are one of the best here at this company. No offense, Brandon. And this all leads me to my question right now. For all the athletes that you've covered throughout all these sports, when it comes to looking handsome in a jersey, in pads, in the work attire of a professional athlete, where does Jimmy G rank?
Arash, can I plead the fifth?
Well, here's the thing. Because here's the thing. Carpy loves Adrian, but he does say he always throws me a curveball, and I think that was the biggest curveball you've ever
That
thrown. This Hall of Famer
that was
is.
that was like a Steve Hamilton folly floater.
Look,
up and down, and I'm like Frank Howard wailing at it, missing it. All right,
It's got to be
Adrian.
Jimmy G1.
Okay. All right.
no,
You know what?
Larry Fitzgerald had a fantastic ass. He's in my top 3 all
Oh
time.
my gosh.
Whoa, whoa, Adrian, Adrian,
You know what?
Adrian. There's children tuning into
All right,
this, man.
Steve used my one cuss word for this segment. I apologize.
Best
Wait, what?
I ever saw in uniform, superstar Billy Graham.
Oh, there we
There
go.
you go.
Wrestling. Love
Rest in
that.
peace. Who passed
How's
away
that?
earlier this year. He passed away earlier this year. Rest in peace. Guys, let me just go behind the scenes. This isn't even a question. When I saw the warm up, I was in Target. I fell to my knees and I was like, it's a new era of Raiders football. And I'll leave it at that. Brandon, back to you, sir.
I just told Adrian like Jimmy G's won a lot and he's handsome. So I mean that's half the battle. He's just a winner. Everywhere he goes, he wins. I know he doesn't have Kyle Shanahan anymore, and I know the Raiders probably he's one throw away, Adrian, from winning a Super Bowl. Missed the guy by this much. Okay. What I'll say here is I want to give this to Steve too, because a lot of people are saying, look, the Raiders are going to win 2 games, are going to win 3 games in that division. Denver's going to be better. Chargers are still great. I'm just saying, don't like completely count out Jimmy. Just what he's done. His record when he starts games is impeccable almost. You know, I know he was with Kyle and he was with Bill before, and Josh McDaniels is probably one of, no offense, one of the worst coaches in football. But at the same time, he's familiar with him, right? That's a positive, no? Right, Steve?
Hey, Jimmy has said on numerous occasions since he's been with the Raiders that his career was born in the NFL with Josh McDaniels in New England. So he has a healthy respect for McDaniels. Okay. And when you watch him on the practice field, he takes command of that huddle and everyone is paying attention to their assignments with him. There's no slacking off. So there's a healthy respect for Jimmy Garoppolo in that Raider dressing room. And that is no denying. Okay. Now, will that translate to more wins than with Derek Carr, who, by the way, looked pretty good today for New Orleans against the Chiefs? Let me just throw that in. We'll see. You know, first things first with Jimmy. Stay healthy. Stay on the field. All right? And then let's see how much of your magic you can do and spin. Because when they got all their weapons and they got everybody healthy and on the field, the Raiders look like they're going to be pretty good, all right? Even in a tough division like the AFC West. That said, you still have to produce. You still got to find a way to beat the Chargers, beat the Chiefs, beat the Broncos. You got to be competitive within your own division. They do that, we'll see what happens.
Steve, the next big event you're covering Tuesday night, Michelob Ultra Arena in Mandalay Bay, Las Vegas Aces, New York Liberty. We thought going into the season this would be a battle of the superpowers. It didn't look like that. And then New York smoked Las Vegas the last time they played at the Mecca at Madison Square Garden. The rematch,
Ross,
Steve.
it was Brooklyn at the Barclays Center.
Oh, Brooklyn. My bad. Sorry, Brooklyn.
They don't play Madison Square Garden anymore.
That's right. Back in the day when I did cover the New York Liberty, they did play there. So they're in Brooklyn. That's right. The court, a very unique looking court there in Brooklyn. Okay, Steve, rematch Tuesday. Your thoughts on it?
Payback time for the Aces.
All day.
They got chunked, man. They got bludgeoned in Brooklyn. And I'm not talking about walking on Flatbush Avenue at 3 a.m. I'm talking about getting your butt handed to you in a big way by Sabrina Ionescu and the rest of the Liberty and Breonna Stewart and those gals. They're a good team. I'll tell you what, Vegas going to be out for some serious revenge Tuesday for that bogus Commissioner's Cup. I hope, by the way, do you remember the photo last year of Kelsey Plum holding that Commissioner's Cup?
Yeah.
She looked like an under-10 soccer player who just got herself a participation trophy.
They fixed that
I know
year.
the WNBA is a money-losing proposition, But geez, can't you come up with a little bit bigger trophy than that? That looks like something, like I said, that your under 10 soccer playing kid would win.
Adrian, what do you got, brother?
Steve, my friend. And first off, that was the All-Star Game MVP trophy. They fixed it this year. They'll fix the Commissioner's Cup. I don't think it's bogus. I think it's cool to be able to have like this week. The Liberty and the Aces are playing Tuesday for the Commissioner's Cup, and then the regular scheduled Thursday game. I think that's cool. That is a mini preview what the finals are going to be. If it brings attention to the league, it is what it is. The WNBA was the testing ground for this new in-season tournament for the NBA coming up this season here in Vegas. But I'm ready for this, man. The Aces got their butt kicked. They almost lost by 40. There was some heinous, disgusting WWE type moves that Jonquel Jones did, an elbow that almost concussed Asia Wilson. They responded the following game for the Aces, and they played on fire. And I think that the Aces are well aware the WNBA, because it's so small and there's only 12 teams and the community is tight knit, everyone is aware of what everyone else is saying. And for the Liberty, that might be a problem Tuesday. I cannot wait to be there. It's always good to see New York get humbled, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was for you, Steve. I think
No, because look, Sabrina Ionescu had the game of her life. It was like the second time that she scored over 20 points professionally. I don't care about the amazing three-point contest that she had. She's still the least deserving athlete in the history of professional sports to ever get a cover of a video game. It is ridiculous that she's on the cover of the new 2K. And everyone on the Aces, there are 4 players on that team, not even taking into account Candace Parker, that should have been on that cover. Chelsea Gray, Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, and they take that personally. Becky is a Hall of Famer. She's got her coat, and they're ready to go. And we're going to see what's going to happen on Tuesday, and we're going to see what's going to happen on Thursday. In my basketball opinion and my expertise, the Aces are a better team than the Liberty, and we'll see how this really plaplays out in the finals when it really matters.
Boy,
Wait, she got the cover.
Kids really
go ahead, Steve. Go ahead. I was just saying
in the league, Adrian.
I'm sorry?
Come on.
What?
They're the best team in the league by far.
Who is?
The
Aces.
Yeah, the Aces are by far. That's what I'm saying.
What are you giving them props for? They don't need your props.
Because I saw what the discussion was when they lost last week to the Liberty.
I'll tell you what. You know what the saying is? Payback is a bitch. And I hate to use that word about
cut it out. We're on radio, Steve.
They are going to bury this team on Tuesday. I don't know what the betting line's going to be, but whatever it is, you can go lay it. All right? Just go to Mandalay.
Also,
go to BetMGM, Adrian, and go bet the Aces.
Go to Circa. Yeah, go to Circa.
Circa. Yeah, not BetMGM. Right. Circa. No, but Adrian, Sabrina is on the cover because she was close with Kobe Bryant, and he's on the cover of 2K24.
Look at my face.
That is why. That's exactly
bro.
why.
I don't
not because she's the best in the league.
I don't care. You're supposed to put the best player in the league or a premier player in the league.
No, they think it'll draw
on the cover of one of your most important products that people buy, which is the video game of the league. Sabrina Ionescu has been in the WNBA for over 5 years. She was an all-star once. That is ridiculous that she got the cover of a video game. The only other person is Peyton Hillis.
She's a baller,
Peyton Hillis was voted by fans on the only time they did a fan vote, and they put a brown on the cover. There's no one else comparable that has the lack of accolades than a one-time all-star getting a cover of a video game. Meanwhile, Asia Wilson was a finals MVP, the MVP, won a championship, has a statue, one in college, one in high school. What are we doing here, bro?
She can get it next year when Kobe's not on the cover of that 2K game.
Whatever.
She can get it next year. I don't see the big deal.
It's a huge deal, bro, especially for women. When there's only
not a huge deal.
For women, there's only been...
They're going to get fans to come over and play it because of Sabrina's connection to Kobe.
There have only been 3 covers for the WNBA in the history of the league. And you're going to have Sabrina there as some representation, like she's a big part of the history of the WNBA. That's a joke, bro. That's a joke.
They're trying to get Kobe fans over to play it. That's why. It's a marketing move, Adrian.
If you put Austin Reeves on the cover of NBA 2K, outside of everyone.
Wow,
That'd
there
be
we go.
great. That'd be great. What are you talking about?
All
Austin
right,
Reeves on the
listen.
cover of 2K would be great.
I'm gonna have to butt in because we're gonna have to close out. We are up against it, as they say. But this is amazing. Normally, I don't know what's gonna be the viral moment of the show. I think Adrian, as he goes in the corner, knows that this will be the most viral moment that we've had on the show, and I'm very happy that you guys were a part of it. And Steve and I were here to witness it. So, listen, Steve, you're the best. We will read your column today on the Raiders, Tuesday on the Las Vegas Aces of the Liberty. That's all the time we have for today. Let's do it again tomorrow. Until then, this is Arash Markazi saying stay safe and stay healthy.